is the aggressor. Putin chose this war, and now he and his country will bear the consequences. Today, I'm authorizing additional strong sanctions and new limitations on what can be exported to Russia. This is going to impose severe cost on the Russian economy, both immediately and over time. We have purposely designed these sanctions to maximize the long-term impact on Russia and to minimize the impact on the United States and our allies. Putin will be a pariah on the international stage. Any nation.
President Biden issues a new round of sanctions, as you heard him say, after Russia launches a wide-ranging attack on Ukraine. Now ground forces are moving in following missile strikes that destroyed more than 80 Ukrainian military facilities.
Meantime, Ukrainian forces have lost control of the Chernobyl nuclear site where that 1986 disaster happened. Let's go live to Madeline Rivera. She's live in Washington, D.C. with the very latest. Madeline.
Good afternoon, Bob and Marla. And yes, a grim situation in Ukraine. The question is, will those sanctions that President Biden rolled out today be enough? The president maintaining the penalties will hurt President Putin in time.
Ukraine under attack. Russia unleashing a massive offensive on military posts in several cities, including the capital of Kiev.
Putin is the aggressor. Putin chose this war.
We now have war in Europe on a scale and of a type we thought belonged to history.
The wide-ranging air and ground assaults started overnight in the most significant attack since World War II. Missiles and bombs falling, tanks rolling across the border, dozens dead. Vladimir Putin warning of, quote, consequences you have never seen for countries who interfere. Despite that, world leaders swift to react, imposing severe sanctions on Russia.
We will limit Russia's ability to do business in dollars, euros, pounds, and yen.
But Ukraine's military not backing down, mobilizing forces, fighting for their survival as a sovereign nation. President Vladimir Zelensky endorsing citizens to fight for their homeland.
We have already started issuing arms. In order to protect our land, we will continue issuing them to everyone who's willing.
Chaos in Kiev as martial law is declared. Long lines forming at grocery stores and ATMs. A miles-long traffic jam as citizens flee.
The panic is shown, and then you have a war in your doorstep. You don't know what to do.
And the president is also sending 7,000 more U.S. troops to Germany, but maintained no American forces will fight in Ukraine. Bob and Marla.
Back here at home, the big concern, obviously, the well-being of the Ukrainians first and foremost, and everybody involved. But the price at the pump, that's long been a concern. We are already dealing with record-setting gas prices here. What can you tell us about that, Madeline?
Yeah, we're reaching $100 per barrel for Brent oil. That's the highest it's been since 2014. And one thing to remember is that Russia is one of the biggest producers of energy. So any sanctions that you might place on the Russian energy sector in particular, well, that's going to have a lot of effect on gas prices. So obviously there's a trickle-down effect there. You see higher oil prices, and then, of course, that means higher gas prices as well. And that's going to hit Americans, especially as they deal with inflation at a 40-year high.
Yeah, we see it here in Los Angeles very keenly. Thank you so much, Madeline Rivera, live in Washington.